Hey, this is Paul Lusk with KnifeMakingVideos.com, and in this lesson I'm going to be showing you some tips, tricks, and techniques on how to work with one of my favorite materials, and that's kirinite. Kirinite is a high-performance acrylic. It comes in many different colors. Some of them are translucent that you can kind of see through, and some of them are opaque. Now, these are just a few examples of kirinite. They have a whole bunch of different colors and color schemes to choose from. Considering it's acrylic, it's going to be lightweight, it's going to be highly impact resistant and weather resistant, and it can be worked as easily as wood, and it has a really good positive grip even when wet. Now today I'm going to be working with Starlight, and Starlight is kirinite's signature glow-in-the-dark material, and as any other material I go ahead and I score one side where it will be glued up to your spacer or up against your tang. Okay, so scoring that will be giving it a rough texture so the epoxy will adhere to it better. I'm going to be using my disc sander. I have a 220 grit. I either use a 100, a 150, or a 220 grit to score my handle materials, and I'm just going to go ahead and score that really fast. It's a little light pressure, and that gives me a nice tooth or nice texture for that epoxy to stick to. I've gone in and used all the basic principles in knife making to drill this, to epoxy it to the knife, and I've gone in and I've basically done the rough shaping of the handle. Now whenever it comes to doing the fine tuning and getting the scratches out on your handle, you can use either brand new belts or you can use a used belt with some sort of lubricant on it, and I like to use TFL 50 wet lubricant. You can also use WD-40, but this is going to want to grab just a little bit whenever you're working it. That acrylic likes to stick together, and it likes to kind of grab and pull your knife down whenever you're fine-tuning it on the slack belt. So I'm going to go ahead with this 220 and start on this really quickly and start getting out my 60 grit scratches that I put in when I was rough shaping it. It's wanting to pull down on me a little bit. So, go and spray that down. Now that I have all those major scratches out, I'll take that down to a 320, then a 400, and then I'll show you a little trick on how to get a nice little finish on that. I've gone in and I've taken that kirinite handle down through a 320 and then a 400 grit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a very used 400. This is used to be a yellow J-Flex 400. And I've been using it so much with this TFL 50 that it's gotten kind of a nasty dark gray brown color. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to soften all the edges on this handle. We have some really sharp edges, and this kirinite is really durable, but it's really easy to work. And so I'll just show you how easy this is to go in and soften these edges on this. Now, that's just all it takes right there, is just to soften that edge. It has a really nice little contour to it. You can do it a little bit more. And I've been working on some other colors here, and I'm going to show you some different examples. and then we'll get into buffing this. This is Venom Kirinite. It's one of my favorites. I have a lot of good sellers in kirinite. The new colors are just beautiful, and this Venom has been around for a little while, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. And one way to get a satin finish on this is to go ahead and use this oil belt. Now that gives you just a really nice, just kind of a satin finish on there. Now we're going to go over to the buffer with a few examples and show you how good it looks whenever it's buffed, and a few tips on how to buff it. Whenever you're buffing kirinite, for best results, you need to use a sewn wheel or a loose buffing wheel. You need to run it at 1700 to 1800 RPM and use a 2000 grit buffing compound. Now make sure that your wheel is really loaded with compound before you start buffing. And I'm just going to go in and I'm going to take off the satin finish that are on these two. I have carbon kirinite on top and Venom kirinite on bottom. I'm just going to go in and make a high gloss finish on there, and I'll just show you how easy this is to do. It's a very durable material, but it also buffs really easily. Now you can see just how easy that was to go in and get a high gloss, really nice polish, as opposed to the satin finish before. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this short little lesson on how to work kirinite. To see a full selection of kirinite, go to kirinite.com, and to learn more about knife making, go to knifemakingvideos.com. Thanks.